Welcome to the FullyCrypto podcast.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the FullyCrypto podcast, your home of quality cryptocurrency and blockchain news, reviews, opinion and more. My name is Mark Hunter, and with me is the man who's done for cryptocurrency what Michael Jackson did for sleepovers, Alex Mears.
Oh, good morning. How are you doing, sir?
I'm not too bad, mate. I'm not too bad. How are you?
Good. I'm shattered today, but that's a story for another day, I suppose.
Well, I'm going to completely usurp you and say that my story takes precedence. I'm excited because it's my birthday tomorrow.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you got anything planned?
We've got the dog walker coming in first thing in the morning to take out the doggy, so I haven't got to get up and do the dog walk, which is nice. And then I've got a bit of crypto news to finish off in the morning, see what's happened overnight. Then I'm a free agent. I'm going to have a couple of gin and tonics, then we're going to a restaurant, come back for a movie. Should be nice.
Oh, that sounds really nice.
Yeah, it's going to be lovely. Gone are the days when it's going to be down the pub by 2 o'clock with the lads. Those days are well and truly behind me now, unfortunately.
Yeah. And yeah, but that's growing up, isn't it? It's responsibilities.
I know, these children come in and get in the way. And
Yeah, once they grow up and they bugger off, then you can get back down the pub.
Exactly. So, the first story we're going to tackle tonight is this Eminence project, which is as complete and utter farce within the DeFi community. Have you come across this at all in the last kind of week or so?
I have not. I have been steering clear of DeFi. You just, You've
actually summed it up quite neatly.
Yeah. No, I've been steering clear of DeFi like a barge pole. Just, it's just too risky, isn't it?
It is. You have to throw your hat into like 100 rings and hope that one or two come off and that the gains you make in them outweigh the losses.
Exactly. You just need too much time to monitor all of them and keep on top of them. Otherwise, you're just going to get screwed.
And the thing is, like, if you buy something and it does like a 10x overnight, you can't sell. And you wake up in the morning and it's come back down to your entry and you've missed your chance. And these things only seem to pump once and that's it. It's like ICOs back in the day. So, but at least with an ICO, you could set your sell on an exchange. With this stuff, no, you have to babysit it all the time and hope you're awake when it comes time to sell.
Yeah, that's no fun at all. That's just scary.
And that's something that the good folks who invested in Eminence discovered. This all kicked off about a week and a half ago. You won't know then that there's a guy called Andre Cronje. It's Cronje. I'm sure I've mangled his name there, but Cronje. Andre Cronje. So Andre Cronje is the man who invented YFI, the first DeFi coin that made it to Binance and Coinbase, I think. The one that went to like 40 grand or whatever.
I was going to say, is this the one that went above Bitcoin?
Yeah, this is the one that went above Bitcoin, and then within about a few days of that, it went up and it went crazy. It hit like 40,000. It's back down to like 12 or 15 now. But yeah, he's the guy that created that. He's seen as this like godfather of DeFi now. The moment that his name is mentioned, Andre's an advisor, Andre retweeted it, whatever. He is seen as, the guy who is going to help shill your project, whatever. No. Well, exactly. Although, to be fair, he's not like a McAfee or whatever. He's doing his own thing. It's just that his reputation now is so big in the space that when he is connected with a project in any sphere at all, people talk about it. It's a discussion point. It's a positive point.
That's quite cool, though, if you're looking for a new advisor just to pump your project. Drop him a couple of grand and your project's going to pump.
Yeah, although he seems to be, on the surface, he seems to be a bit more, reputable than those guys. He's actually developing stuff. He just happens to be the first one to do it.
Oh,
so
that's good.
He's therefore seen this way.
Yeah.
So, about a week and a half ago, he put out this token. He launched this token onto like an Ethereum smart contract called Eminence. The ticker was EMN. And what happened was this coin goes onto Uniswap.
Yeah.
There's no marketing, there's no website, no community, nothing. The only thing that went with it was a brand new Twitter account, like a few days old, and this banner poster thing that said Eminence and Spartacus were these two different tweets that were put onto this Twitter account. And he retweeted it a couple of times. So what you've got is a mystery coin, a brand new Twitter account with only 2 posts with 2 pictures and the words Eminence and Spartacus, and he's retweeted it. So this DeFi crypto space being as ridiculous as it is, people start buying it because it gets picked up and it goes on Twitter. Oh, this is mystery project. What is this? Is it this? Is it that? Let's raise money on it. So people start buying the token despite having no idea what on earth it is. People are buying it on the basis that he's retweeted it. It's something to do with him. It's going to go up. As ridiculous as that sounds, it did go up. It went up. I mean, it went up and down. It bounced around for a few hours. It went up like 2 or 3 times, then dropped down. But within about 2 or 3 hours, like that was still enough time for a few of these big accounts on Twitter to shill it and to get people involved and say this stuff, do this, do that, you get more. About 3 hours or 4 hours after all the hype started, a hacker, gamed the system and he minted all the coins in the smart contract and sold them all and crashed the coin.
Oh no.
So the whole thing took about 4 hours. Between birth and death, it was like 4 hours.
Oh, jeez.
So I woke up in the morning to see all the stuff that had happened. And the fallout from it is quite interesting because obviously there's all these people saying, well, what's happened here? Why, this coin was never mentioned. It was never talked about. It was never publicized or whatever. And he's like, well, he wakes up. What are you all talking about? Turns out it was a test. He's creating this new project called Eminence with this Eminence token, and he kind of pushed the token out as a test. And apparently he said he does this with all his projects. He pushes out a test token just to test how it works. Why he pushes it onto a live platform, I've no idea, but this was his theory. It was a test.
That's brilliant.
So you got all these people buying all this stuff. By the time it crashed, it was worth $16 million, right? Oh. So some guy came in, minted all these $16 million worth of tokens and sold them all for Ethereum. And it's kicked off this whole thing. On one hand, you've got these guys saying, well, why did he let it go live? He shouldn't have gone live. He knows what the space is like. He knows what people are like. They'll buy into any old stuff. He's responsible for putting this coin out there.
Yeah.
Knowing people are going to be invested in it, knowing what his reputation is, and other people saying, well, hang on a second. Why are you buying something that's got no community, no project, no website, nothing? Why are you buying something like that?
Yeah.
You can't complain if it goes to zero. So that was last week or so. Now this week, a bunch of investors who lost money are trying to raise money through donations to sue him because of their losses. They're suing him and a couple of developers that were part of the team who were saying they were shilling it. They were saying you can earn more tokens by farming it, whatever. So it's just thrown up this really interesting discussion of where does the responsibility lie? How much responsibility lies with the creators and how much responsibility lies with the quote-unquote investors?
I think it's all on the investors. Simply because if I build a big bridge, that doesn't say go and jump off it, does it?
Yeah.
You choose to jump off it. I didn't tell you to. I didn't tell you to, this guy didn't tell you to invest in his coin. He just retweeted it. Doesn't mean anything. He didn't say, oh, go and buy my coin. So I think a lot of the people, they did the classic crypto thing that you don't get in traditional finance, that people just don't do any research. They think, oh, this could be cool because someone retweeted it. They go and buy it. Mm-hmm. And it's just ridiculous. It's stupid. I mean, there are too many people like this. If this is something you do, you're an absolute moron. I mean, would you go and buy, I don't know, some random stock from the Indian Stock Exchange? I mean, you might if you've done your research, but if you've not done your research, you're not even going to touch it. So why would you do that with crypto? Just because it's crypto and you think that chucking like 200 euros into a DeFi project makes you some crypto god. It's just ridiculous. I think all the responsibility lies on the investors. You should not invest in something you don't understand. You shouldn't invest in something you've never researched. It's just common sense. You can't complain that you've lost all your money if you didn't even look into it.
Yeah, it's one thing to say you shouldn't invest in something that you don't understand. It's another thing to think that people invested in something that it didn't really exist. That some of them at least bought this token with some kind of feeling that there was some kind of underlying asset behind it. There was some reason to buy it. There was some platform being built. There was something behind it to give it any merit whatsoever and any value. And of course, the stuff that's being built and the stuff that is pretending to be built, obviously has half of it has no merit, half of it doesn't actually exist. You find out afterwards the platform never existed. But people buy these things on the premise that there is, at least fictionally, there's a notional something behind it. There was nothing behind this, literally nothing. So yeah, you shouldn't invest in anything that you don't understand or you haven't researched. But if you just bought something because someone on Twitter has said, buy this, and there's literally nothing behind it, not even a website behind it, that's, to me, is a whole other level of stupid.
Yeah, it just screams like, here, I don't want any money anymore. Can someone else take it off my hands? If you're going to go around buying these coins, just send your money to me. Like, I can actually use it for stuff. I go and buy food. Do you know what I mean? Don't just piss it away on some stupid coin that you've not even checked to see if there's a website.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first thing you should do, is just do some research. Make sure it's legit. Because that's how you get scammed.
Yeah.
So, these people are just absolute idiots. It's shocking that this is what people do. Honestly, it makes me want to just make my own random DeFi coin, take all your money and run away and laugh at you, but hurt you idiots. Because that's how easy it is.
This is the thing. This is what gets me, is that before, all the rug pulls, all the scams and stuff, there's been something behind it. There's been a name and a website, and there's been some pretense of a platform. With this, all there was like one Twitter account with 2 posts. And maybe they were trying to play into all the mystery of it. But it's just like, I imagine some people thought, you know what, I'll chuck a few hundred in. It's probably a scam. It'll go to nothing. I don't mind losing it. That's one thing, if you're going to throw some money in and expect to lose it. But if you put some money in, there was something I read about a guy who put in something like $250,000 or $300,000 right at the start. It doubled in value when all the hype was kicking off. Yeah. He took out $700,000 worth and then put it back in and lost the lot.
Oh no. Oh, dude.
That's the level of intelligence you're dealing with here. I think it's been months and months of people making all these gains, and people get desperate. They feel like they're missing out because they see these gains people are making. So they're like, finally, I'm in at the ground floor. They ignore all kinds of common sense. And then, okay, so if you've lost money on it, you've got to accept that. You've got to accept going into this, there's a massive element of risk. If you lose, it's your fault. For people to lose out and then to not just claim that it's his fault, but to try and sue him to get the money back, to try and get it to court, that's crazy.
They swap their Ethereum into these tokens. So, someone else has run off with your Ethereum. You gave it to them. You chose to trade it. He didn't force you to at gunpoint. And I think you've really hit the nail on the head there, saying that these are people just chasing gains. These people are just chasing gains. They're not there because they think it's a good project or it's got something that sounds exciting in it. These people are literally just there chasing gains. It's like gambling.
It absolutely is.
At this point, you are gambling. You're just sticking It's like you're walking into a casino, playing a game you've never played before, and just putting your entire bankroll on pink.
Yeah.
Because this is some new game that no one's ever seen, so I'm going to say it's pink because I've just made up a game. No one knows the rules. That's what it's like. You don't know the rules of the game. You don't know how it works. You just go, I like pink, so I'm going to chuck my money on it.
And then if you lose, you then say, well, I don't like the way that you made that game, so I'm going to sue you to get my money back.
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that. You can't treat it like that.
Yeah, and it just feels like this is what people are doing. They're just gambling to try and make money. If you're desperate to make money, please go and get a job. Don't chuck it all in DeFi. Unless you're going to do your research. If you do your research, and you spend a couple of hours, not even a couple of hours, maybe like 5-6 hours a week. You just do that, just doing research. And you can make some decent gains. But don't just chuck everything into one stupid project that is literally non-existent online. Because you're going to lose everything.
Yeah.
It's moronic.
And then if you do, don't blame other people. If you are going to blame other people and you want to take them to court, use your own money. Don't try and solicit donations from people. Well, the reason you've got no money left to sue them is because you lost it all gambling, like you say, betting it all on pink. And you can't then go and cry to the community to say, oh, can you please help us get that money back? They're called EMN Investigation. And they set up a Twitter account. And when they posted about what they were aiming to do, the responses were just scathing. Like if they really thought they were going to get some money back, if they really thought the community was going to be on their side, they were badly mistaken. Some guy that responded, he put it perfectly. He said, "We put money into something that someone randomly found on the internet and a creator hadn't completely tested and revealed to the public yet. We want to sue people because we made stupid decisions. I hope you guys spend a fuckload on this and lose more money."
That's exactly what they're doing, isn't it? They're gambling again to try and get whatever they gambled originally back.
And this whole DeFi thing was crazy to begin with because it wasn't really understood at the start. And we went from the YFI and the YFI2, all these YF tokens, those all came out and some survived and some died. Then we moved on to those food meme tokens.
Oh, yam and sushi.
Yams and sushis, yep, that's all died out. And so now there's not even a meme anymore. It's just got to the point. I feel like we're in an episode of Black Mirror or something where it's just like people are just seeing what they can get away with. I know this guy didn't do it on purpose, but like you said, if he had done it on purpose as some kind of test, I'm sure we've talked about something like this before, just put some random nonsense coin out there, back it up with nothing at all, and just see what happens. Because I bet you people will buy it because they just think they're going to make money from it.
Exactly. Like, I'd love to do it. I'd love to do something like this. Set up like a fake cryptocurrency or a fake DeFi project and just see how many fucking idiots fall for it.
Before this, I would have said, well, you'd have to create a Twitter account, maybe a website, maybe this, maybe that. Before, I'd have had like 5 ingredients you might need just to try and get people interested. Yeah. But after this, you need nothing. You just need to put a token out there. Someone will buy it.
Yeah.
And that's the state we are.
That's the thing. Even if you just buy a domain and just like make it like a blank screen with a countdown on it, people will buy it even more because they think it's some sort of mystery reveal.
They would. I don't like Nouriel Roubini. I don't like some of the views he has on cryptocurrency, but some of the things he says are spot on, I have to say. And he has said before that the whole place is riddled with scammers and shitcoins. And it is. I mean, I don't know how many DeFi projects are out there. I don't know how many of them are legitimate and actually have some kind of use case. Even the ones that do have use cases, there's no knowing that they will survive. How many times have there been people that have either gamed the system with these flash loan things or just found bugs in smart contracts and minted the entire supply? Yeah. Even the most robust, if you can use that word, even the most robust seeming project is a massive risk because they're brand new. Half of them started like weeks ago. And on these smart contracts that they claim are audited, but they're not audited properly because the amount of audited ones that still go kaput. Yeah. People seem to buy into stuff because, it's been audited, it's been this, it's been that, Andre's on board. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing.
Exactly. They're just gambling and trying to sound smart. They're trying to justify their stupid decisions by saying, this, and this. It's like, that doesn't make it legit.
No.
It's just you spouting out a bunch of keywords. To sound intelligent in front of your mates down the pub.
Yeah. 2 things from this. Firstly, I have a feeling that this EMN investigation lot are going to get nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. They're not going to raise any money. This whole thing's going to die, as it should do, and they will hopefully reflect on their stupidity and learn a lesson from it.
Yeah, I hope so. They deserve everything they get for chucking their money into a garbage can.
They do. And secondly, I hope... And I'm a bit more optimistic now. I hope that this is peak DeFi stupidity because I think if this had happened maybe in July or August, I'd say no, we've still got some way to go. But it seems like the DeFi thing is starting to drift off. The liquidity on Uniswap in particular is really leveling out and starting to drop a bit. The volume is really dropping massively. The volume peaked in like August, September, where you were getting 10x's all the time just for bringing out a YF token. But now it's getting harder and harder and harder to get those multipliers. Yeah. We've hit the peak and we are coming down now.
Exactly. And I think remote Christmas is coming too. So I think you've got a lot of people who are being a bit more cautious with their money because they know the holidays are just around the corner. So I think you've got a lot of these other things people want to spend their money on as well.
And I think too many people have been burnt. Yeah. I think even people that haven't been burnt have maybe got away with a few. They're like, I've got away with that. I can't chance my luck anymore. I think, the days of the 10x's are pretty much over.
Yeah, I think in DeFi it's over. There will be something else next. There'll be something else next year. The new DeFi, the new ICO, the new IEO. Yeah. There'll be something else. There'll be another stupid little acronym that will go to 10, 20x for the first 2 weeks to a month. They're not fizzling out again.
Yeah.
And you know what? Chuck all your money in it the first couple of weeks. That's fine, because it will work.
Mm.
But after that, you just got to run away, leave it alone.
Yeah. And if you see a token that launches that has no website, has no Discord or Telegram, it has nothing but a Twitter account created days before with 2 posters and someone well-known retweeting it, do not throw hundreds of thousands of dollars into it. Please, God.
No, exactly. Please don't do that. Please, please, please.
You're listening to the FullyCrypto podcast.
So the second story we're going to touch on today involves the scam of scams. If we thought DeFi was a scam, this OneCoin is another level. So it was revealed earlier this week that none other than Kate Winslet is going to star in a film called Fake, which is a film about the OneCoin scandal. Did you catch up with this week?
I did. I saw she was going to be in a movie called Fake, and I thought it was going to be about her assets. But
Wah, wah, wah.
a little disappointed it was about crypto. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a very interesting thing. It's being adapted from a podcast, is it not?
Well, it's funny because the whole OneCoin thing has been huge. I hadn't really come across it at all until it kind of came into the mainstream media. I was aware of it, but I wasn't quite aware of the scale of it. Firstly, the podcast, the BBC podcast came about last year, I think it was. They were trying to track down the founder.
Yeah.
The podcast is being made into a TV series, COVID permitting, but the experiences of one of the victims in the podcast, she's co-written a book about her version of events, and it's from that book that the film is being taken. So eventually you'll have podcast, book, TV series and film, which is kind of interesting.
Everything you need.
Yeah, it started in 2014 when this woman, Dr. Ruja Ignatova, she founded OneCoin, and she was going on about how this was a cryptocurrency called OneCoin, part of a One Life project. It was going to do a Bitcoin, going to change the world and all this sort of stuff that they still promise to this day. They had these massive seminars. It was very, very much a multi-level marketing scheme where you had people who would try and sell you token packages. And if you could get to become a salesman, you'd earn money from the people below you, this sort of thing. But you were buying these tokens in packages. Nothing ever came of it. There was never, I think there may have been the OneCoin branded exchange you were supposed to be able to sell them on, but you never could sell them. But the salesmanship of it, I mean, she was like a magnetic figure. She was a proper cult leader. She was amazing. She really hooked people in. And this thing reeled in $4 billion between 2014 and 2019. And bear in mind, they spent barely any of it on the actual product because there was nothing to show for it. So all the money was funneled out into separate offshore companies. It was spent by the founders. It was a massive, massive fraud. It started to kind of unravel in 2019, although in 2017 was when the American kind of legal system got wind of it. And they started to file charges against the founders. And Dr. Ignatova, she was accused of fraud and money laundering and this sort of thing in, I think, September 2017. She was supposed to attend a OneCoin conference in Portugal in October 2017. She disappeared before that, and no one has seen her since, hence why they're kind of trying to track her down. So ever since then, the whole thing's been gradually falling apart. Loads of the co-conspirators have been pulled up in court, and they've been jailed for various things. Her brother, who's a co-founder, has pleaded guilty.
Oh, wow.
That's the long and short of it. I think it still remains the biggest crypto fraud ever. And so one of the victims, a Scottish lady called Jen McAdam, she featured quite prominently in the OneCoin podcast because she was a proper believer. She bought in herself, and she convinced her family and extended family, get ready for this, she convinced them to spend a combined £300,000
Jesus.
on OneCoin packages. So you've got people's retirement money, you've got all their life savings, everything went into OneCoin. Of course, the whole thing, over a period of years, they realised it was kind of going to nothing. So, I mean...
Can you imagine Christmas?
Oh, God.
Family Christmas.
So she was quite prominent in this, and she's the one writing the book. And it was interesting because when I found out that they were making a film about it, and I saw that Kate Winslet was going to star, my immediate thought was, oh, she's going to play Dr. Ignatova. She can be this elegant, charismatic woman standing in front of massive audiences, kind of selling this. I could see that.
Yeah.
But actually, she's going to play Jen McAdam, the victim. So it's going to be a different take on it, because I think immediately by knowing that she plays, you know, a regular woman rather than this amazing scammer, it puts a different spin on the film, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sort of makes you think that they're going to take it from the victim's point of view rather than sort of the scam. Like, I feel like rather than going to the roots of the scam, it's probably going to go from when Jen got involved.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's going to take Jen's story through, not the whole story of OneCoin from the OneCoin side. But I mean, it could be. I mean, I don't know who else has been cast. They could cast someone else very powerful to play Ignatova. But I would like to see Winslet play her instead, because you can't just have a nobody do that part.
It all depends how they go about it. I mean, if they, you may not even ever see Dr. Ignatova. You might only ever see her and like Jen McAdam and her family, because it might be a much more raw, stripped down version of it. They may not even touch on the scam as such, as it was that much. I think it would be an amazing film to do. I'd love to see a film where you follow the project from start to finish. I think that would be incredible. But this looks like it's not going to take that turn. It's going to definitely focus on her as the victim.
Yeah.
Which is a shame in some respects, but I think it's going to be a lot more raw. I think if they do that, there's going to be a lot more kind of heartache involved, and maybe it's going to be more about her battle to overcome it, to get the word out, because she's doing an amazing job. I mean, how many people get scammed and never say a word because they're too scared to admit they got conned?
Exactly, they're embarrassed, aren't they? So they don't want to say anything. They don't want to tell their friends and family, like, look, sorry guys, you gave me 300 grand, it's all gone, we got scammed. Sorry, boys. So
from her point of view, it's been really brave of her to come out and do this.
Oh, yeah, she got death threats, didn't she?
I was just going to say she did when she came out, because, again, it's this cult thing. Over the years, they managed to get so many people from all over the world, not just believing in this project, but believing it to the point of verbal abuse of people that didn't believe. And we go back to the thing we touched on with Craig Wright. There are some people that just, for whatever reason, maybe it's because it's a certain personality type, I'm not sure, but certain people get brainwashed, they latch onto things, and they do all sorts and say all sorts of harmful, stupid stuff because of a project.
Yeah. They just fall into the belief that it's true. I don't know what triggers this. It's kind of like these people who go through tragedy and then they make a load of stupid decisions and then that becomes their life. But in reality, it's not. It's their emotions and their hormones playing on whatever happened, causing them to do stuff. If it does take Jen McAdam's side, I think it could be quite interesting, because it could highlight some areas of what a scam looks like, and maybe give you some sort of indicators of what a crypto scam looks like. So should you be close to getting involved in investing in something like this, you couldn't sort of, oh, I remember that from Fake. This is a red flag. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be walking away here. So I think by taking on Jen's side, while it may be less dramatic and exciting, it could serve an educational purpose. It could be quite interesting, and it could be quite useful for the crypto industry as well, and the more genuine projects. Simply because that if a lot of people watch it just because Kate Winslet's in it, for example, then a lot more people are going to understand the basic red flags that you need to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, I think even if they don't feature the scam hugely, they will certainly, they're going to have to talk about the time when she got involved in it, because I have a feeling that they went to these like face-to-face sessions where they kind of signed up in person, or at least I think she certainly did.
Yeah.
So, you'll have that, and there'll be a bit of a thing about the kind of tactics they use to get you to sign up for these things. And from listening to the OneCoin podcast, and hearing her speak in interviews, I get the feeling that her book and the film is going to be kind of a warning. It's going to be a case of, look, this happened to me, it could happen to you. Because there's a point in the podcast where there was a guy, I think he was working for OneCoin actually, and he kept questioning them, saying, where's the blockchain? Where's this? Where's that? And they kept trying to put him off. And he realized what was going on and he quit. And I think he tried to get the word out it was a scam. And she, on this recording, she is having a right go at him. It's like she has been brainwashed by fundamentalists. She's having a go at him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's saying there is a blockchain. They've said this, they've said that. It's real. How dare you, la, la, la. And it wasn't too long after that the scales kind of fell away from her eyes and she realised she had been duped. So I think it's going to act as a this is what to look out for, not just in a crypto world sense, but in any kind of scam. These are the things to look out for.
Yeah.
And if it can happen to me, it can happen to you as well.
Exactly, because I think this is how a lot of cults operate anyway in the real world. Like, not just in crypto, like in the regular world. This is how cults operate. So I think if you learn, this could serve as like an educational movie that teaches you the signs, and it would give you some sort of tools to protect yourself, both in crypto and the real world.
The other world, outside.
But yeah, you know what I mean. Like, I think it could be a good movie if they do it well.
Yeah.
I think it could be very useful. It's what the industry needs for sure.
Yeah, I have a bit of faith. I mean, I know that there's been a couple of like crypto themed or crypto related, tenuously or otherwise, TV shows and films and things, but they've always been kind of low budget or barely mentioned. But this looks like it's going to be the first blockbuster, shall we say, in inverted commas, because she's the biggest star to be attached to anything like this. I don't think it's going to do a lot for crypto. There'll be the most basic explanation of what a blockchain is, but the story isn't about that. I really hope they don't focus on the fact that this was a crypto scam, because it wasn't. There was never a cryptocurrency to begin with, so it's not a crypto scam. It's a scam that used crypto as its medium.
Yeah, it used crypto as its buzzword.
Yeah, exactly. So I do hope they focus on the more human element of this, which I'm sure they will. So it won't be great for crypto, but yeah, I think, like you say, it will be really, really good for the world in general and anyone that will face a similar situation in the future.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's if when it comes out, everyone should go and watch it. I mean, I'm sure it'll come on Netflix eventually, so you got no excuse.
Obviously, with things at the moment, who knows when this is going to go ahead? But I'd imagine, they've signed a deal now. They will probably start filming in a year or so, maybe 2 years. So you may be looking at 2022, 23, perhaps it's going to be out.
Yeah, it's going to win some Oscars. I got a feeling.
By that time, there might be a whole new pandemic for us to worry about.
Crypto scamitis.
Cool. Right, well, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please don't forget to like and subscribe on your channel of choice, because it helps us get a bit more exposure elsewhere. You can catch us on social media at FullyCrypto. And Alex, if you could please remind everybody of our wonderful website.
It is FullyCrypto.com.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Well, I hope you have a good weekend, mate.
Yeah, and you. Hope you have a great birthday. Happy birthday weekend. You can get absolutely wasted tomorrow and not worry about hangovers.
I haven't got to worry about hangovers, but I've got children to worry about, so I might have to take it easy.
Just don't stop drinking.
Just drink through the pain.
Yeah, just drink through it. You'll be fine.
Well, thank you for joining us once again on the Fully Crypto podcast, and we will speak to you again soon.
Bye, guys. Have a nice weekend.